Hello and welcome to Samford University and the commencement ceremony for the McWhorter School of Pharmacy. I first want to say congratulations to all the graduates. Their hard work, their efforts and time are certainly being recognized right here. So without delay, let's head inside the Wright Center as the commencement ceremony is about to begin.
Heavenly Father, we invite your presence into this ceremony today, and we begin by giving thanks. We thank you for the honor and the blessing of being here today as members of the graduating class of 2014. We thank you for each other, for our family and friends who've endured this journey along with us. We thank you for our faculty and our staff who have mentored and prepared us along the way. We thank you for the many obstacles and challenges that we have encountered and overcame through your mighty strength and wonderful blessing. And we thank you for the growth that these obstacles and challenges have produced in us, making us the men and women that stand before you today. And today, Lord, we ask you one final time, as the class of 2014, to go with us and before us, preparing us as individuals that will give as we have been given and bless as we have been blessed. We ask these things in your blessings upon this ceremony. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good morning and welcome to the commencement of the 173rd anniversary session of Samford University. Our tradition began in December of 1841 when the Alabama legislature issued a charter for the establishment of the institution that would become the Samford that we know today. And with gratitude, we remember those who paved the way for us, and we give thanks for their lasting influence. As I say so often, we sit in the shade of trees that we did not plant. A special welcome today to the parents and spouses and family members and friends of these graduates. On behalf of our faculty and these students, we thank you for your support and your sacrifice in making this day possible. Our tradition of excellence in pharmacy education is an unbroken chain of 87 years. And we welcome the McWhorter School of Pharmacy class of 2014 as they assume their rightful place in this remarkable heritage. We celebrate your work and dedication today as hopes and dreams become reality in a time-honored ceremony. At the conclusion of this hour, you will be forever among the alumni of Samford University. And as you go from us, remember, please, that you carry with you our cherished hopes and dreams as lifelong members of this university family. May your future unfold with challenge and contentment, and may it be more than you have dared to dream. And for decades to come, we will cheer from this Alabama hillside as each day you engage your mind, your soul, and your hands toward making the world a better place through the healing arts. And as a moment of personal privilege today, I also extend to Dr. Michael Hogue our sincere thanks for his careful stewardship of the McWhorter School of Pharmacy during this year of interim deanship. He is fully deserving of our appreciation, and those of us at Samford count him as a precious colleague. Dr. Hogue, will you please stand now and accept our gratitude? So congratulations, friends, and every good wish to you in the years ahead. And now will you please join me in welcoming to the podium Dr. Susan Alverson.
I am so honored to be here today with this class that 4 years ago I warned about what was in front of you. But I also remember saying, you have no idea how fast this is going to go. You're going to make so many friends. Some of you are going to be married to each other. And everybody went, but some of you are. So I ask you the question, how long, graduates, has it taken you to get to today? How many years have you been a student? 20? 21? 22? It has been your identity for your whole life. and you have studied and tested, and you have pushed yourself, and the family and friends who are sitting here today have encouraged you and praised you and worried about you, have sacrificed, have prayed for you, and have paid for you. And today you're at the finish line. You are on the mountaintop. Only 3% of the people in the United States have a degree like you have. And most of you, within the next 2 years, will be in the top 5% of people earning in this country. I want to give you a warning in case you're sitting there thinking about vacations and new cars. The top 10% of the people in this country pay 71% of the federal income tax in this country. So wait for your first paycheck before you start spending. But more than that, in a few moments, you're going to have a piece of paper that says to the world that you have the skills to care for people. And in a month, or maybe 2, you're going to have a piece of paper from my office or from another state office just like mine that says the public can trust you. The public can trust you to be sure they're safe. They can trust you to care for their children. They can trust you to care for their parents. And although those 2 documents will attest to your skills, neither one of those documents says anything about your character. Today's like winning the lottery. It's like getting your fondest wish. You've been there, you've struggled, and you've made it to the end of the race. And now what are you going to do with that prize that you've won? There have been so many efforts over the years to determine who in a class is going to best care for patients. Every admissions committee in the United States tries to predict that. And despite efforts to measure ACTs and SATs and PCAT scores and what school did you come from, are you a leader, are you popular, nothing has been able to predict who will best take care of patients. The only thing I've ever seen that came close to that was a study in a pharmacy journal a few years ago. And the study had been used for physicians and clergy. And it did predict who will best care for people. And the predictor was a test of ethics. I know you've all had a class in ethics, and you know it's not simply the law. It's a reflection of who you are at your core. It enjoins your values, your personal strength, the maturity of your thoughts. It's not intelligence or knowing the law, but the wisdom to act appropriately. In my new job, I see pharmacists every month coming before the board for sanctions and discipline. And every time I see them, I wonder, where did it go wrong? You sat in the same place that these people sat in some number of years ago. Did you think learning was over? Perhaps your books were closed, but the lessons you need to learn in life are just now beginning. When I go into a pharmacy and see someone doing things that I just thank myself that no one's dead. When I've got to get a court order to shut down a pharmacy for fear that someone's going to die, and I ask the pharmacist, what were you thinking? And the answer I get is, Nobody's been hurt yet. Oh, well, then proceed. Let's keep going. Let's just call this patient roulette. How long can we go before someone gets hurt? This week, we spoke to a pharmacist who was doing something that every one of you know you can't. I could ask everybody in this audience today who's not graduating the question, and 100% of you would get it right. And when I asked the pharmacist, the answer was, my lawyer said I can do it. What better source of guidance than your lawyer said you could do it? I hate to burst your bubble on a glorious day like today, but there is nothing and there is nobody who can guarantee your happiness. Your happiness is going to be the result of the decisions that you make. It's going to be the result of how you grow and how you develop. Are you a fighter? You fought to be here today. Are you going to take that fortitude with you as you leave here today? Will you be able to imagine a better day as you fight through difficulties? Are you willing to ask for help? Will you seek God? When I see pharmacists before us, I wonder, what's in there? What fills that space inside you that we judge by an ethics test? Are you afraid to stand up? When I worked at Samford, I had one of those little pull-out wood shelves, I guess to put my coffee on. But I had 2 sayings scotch taped to that piece, and I would pull it out periodically. And I'm from Wisconsin, so one of them was wisdom from Vince Lombardi. I won't bore you with that one. But the second one said, what could we accomplish were it not for fear? So I challenge you, start small, speak up, stand up, learn to fight fear, because if not, you will be pulled down by it in your life. Where's your moral compass? Is church something that you just stop at on Sunday morning on your way to IHOP? Or are you just kind of keeping God in the background? I'm going to call on him, just like in the movies, where I can go 20 or 30 years and then I go, Lord, you haven't seen me much, but I want you to heal this boy. Don't let God be in your back pocket, something you're going to pull out 20 or 30 years from now. It doesn't work that way. I am coming to the end of the path that you are just now setting foot upon. And I am here to tell you that life is good. And you are going to have days in front of you when you say, this is the best day of my life. But there are going to be times of loneliness and challenge. There are going to be times of personal decision, times that you have to make commitments. And each of us has to get through those challenges. I've got 4 degrees, and in the middle of the night, when I'm worried, they're useless. They haven't helped me raise my children. They haven't kept my marriage together. They haven't dictated my care of patients. It's like having a couple extra pieces of paper. I went there. I graduated from there. I've got the skills, but they say nothing about my character. So I ask you again, where is your strength? Are you committed to growing it in the years that lay in front of you? Can you turn to God for comfort? Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon we have to change the world. So my wish for you today is that the education which you celebrate today will give you a good life, that it will allow you to touch and serve the lives of others, that it will help you to fulfill your dreams, but most of all, when you come to the end of your life, that you'll be able to look back with pride and peace, knowing that you used it for God's greater purpose. Thank you.
It's my privilege today to introduce our keynote speaker, a good friend and colleague for many years. Thomas E. Menighan is Executive Vice President and Chief Executive Officer of the American Pharmacists Association. He received his Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy in 1974 from West Virginia University School of Pharmacy and Master of Business Administration in 1990 from Averett College. He was awarded an SCD by the University of Charleston, West Virginia in 2010. In 2011, he received an honorary Doctor of Science degree from West Virginia University. Prior to his current leadership roles at APHA, Menighan was founder and president of Syntegra Solutions, Inc., a Germantown, Maryland company that provides supply chain and chargeback auditing and consulting risk management for 340B systems and anti-counterfeiting technology for medication information. Menighan also founded SimRx and developed CornerDrugstore.com. Throughout his career, Menighan has served volunteer roles within the profession of pharmacy, including as president of APHA from 2001 to 2002, and as a member of the APHA Board of Trustees between 1995 and 2003, the time frame in which I had the pleasure of serving on APHA's board with Tom. He was a senior staff member of APHA from 1987 to 1992. As Senior Director of External Affairs, he managed the state pharmacy affairs, public relations, new business development, and practice management affairs for APHA. Other professional experiences include management at the Pharmark Corporation, creator of Rational Med, and licensor of systems for states to conduct drug utilization review for millions of state Medicaid enrollees. Menighan also founded and was a 20-year medicine shop owner in Huntington, West Virginia, and he is a current partner in Pharmacy Associates, Inc., a multi-state specialty pharmacy that serves patients throughout the United States. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Tom Menighan.
Good morning. I don't know about you, but Susan Alverson just knocked my socks off. Bravo. New practitioners, I wish you could see what I see. This is an awesome group, and this group around you is the group that got you here, your family and friends, supporters. So I'm going to ask all of you to stand up for just a second, turn around, and give them a hand as the folks who prayed and paid for you. Thank you to President Westmoreland, Provost Creed, Dean Hogue, faculty, graduates, family, friends, for the privilege of being here today to share this moment with you and to offer a few thoughts. Samford has a great history with APHA, and you've contributed great leadership through the volunteer APHA board and academy services of Dean Hogue, former Dean Tim Burrell, Valerie Prince, former faculty member Marcia Gilbraith, and former professor Lucinda Main, with whom I also served as an APHA staff member many years ago. I've titled this talk, Start a Path, which is what each of you are doing today. And I'll encourage you to make a difference and tell your story as a patient advocate. The concept of starting a path was introduced to me by the comedian and great philosopher George Carlin, who was a DJ on WLS in Chicago. Late at night, I could catch WLS on my little transistor radio, and I remember him challenging his audience to start a path. No one seems willing to do this. We don't mind using existing paths, but we rarely start new ones. Do it today. Start a path, even if it doesn't lead anywhere. Somehow that concept stuck with me, and I share it with you for your own consideration. I'm sure all of you here know the fight or flight response. That's when threatened, our bodies release adrenaline, which helps us meet challenges. I'd like to characterize a different mechanism that I call the flying leap response. Each of us, if we think about it, can remember someone who offered a suggestion or an observation that we didn't see coming, but that changed our lives forever. It may have been when someone said to you, "Have you ever thought of going to pharmacy school?" Regardless of any prior thoughts of your own, this external validation is often all it takes to urge us to go down that path and take a flying leap and do something totally different. Those are powerful moments, and we've all had them. My point is that you not only benefit from those moments, but you can cause them by recognizing talents or skills and sharing those observations with your peers throughout your life. External validation is an awesome force for positive change, and I encourage you to use it, especially in these early, very formative years in your careers. As new practitioners, you'll be faced with many realities, such as a resistance to change, practice settings that focus more on dispensing than on care, evolving standards and practice models, and a soft economy. There will be winners and losers. But thanks to a world-class faculty and staff here at Samford, you're prepared. Knowing Samford's mission as I do, I know it's not news to you that you're part of something bigger than yourself. You're trained to assume a major role on the healthcare team. Your heads are full of facts, and you know how to solve problems. These skills are essential to pathfinding. Uncertainty lies ahead, but you are up to the challenge. Healthcare and the American public need you. With the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, and thanks to the unified efforts of thousands of pharmacists, opportunities were dramatically expanded for us to play an enhanced role in team-based healthcare. And your future as a healthcare provider is being determined today. But it won't just be handed to us. We must secure our roles on the healthcare team to improve medication use. We do that by taking very complex information and simplifying it. Many patients and prescribers don't even know they need us, but they will listen. Trust in pharmacists is rock solid worldwide. To give you a little context, let me share with you why I'm here and how I got here and what drives me to do what I do. I'm just a pharmacist privileged to be the full-time staffer the volunteer APHA Board of Trustees chose to lead APHA, the National Professional Society of Pharmacists. I manage our advocacy work in a diverse enterprise that serves not only our 62,000 members, including many of you, but also the entire profession. We work in service to you, and I consider myself one of your greatest advocates. We're investing millions of dollars, and we lead a large coalition of stakeholders who are united in the cause to secure provider status for pharmacists. We take that leadership role very seriously. More on that in a minute. My first exposure to pharmacy school was in 5th grade when I went to the pharmacy to replenish the chemicals in my chemistry set. I ended up working there from 7th grade through college. Upon graduation, I spent 5 years learning pharmacy with a chain before opening our own medicine shop with my wife, Jeannie. We learned shortly after that she was pregnant and that an earlier cancer had returned. She was treated at Duke University Medical Center. The chemo that cured her cancer was so rough that she almost starved. And that led to us starting her on home intravenous feeding, a very unique program, in 1980. Jeannie lived 23 years after that and saw our daughter earn her master's degree. Her illness and our conquering it taught me many things. In 1981, soon after starting her home feeding, I realized the service could benefit others. With a little marketing, our local discharge planners at the hospitals began referring patients to us. Together with 2 other pharmacists, we founded a home infusion and specialty practice that we still own together 32 years later. I haven't practiced there for a decade, but my partners make a difference for the patients and family that we serve every day. Along the way, I learned that volunteerism not only feels good, but reaps huge dividends. I got involved as a volunteer in many organizations, including serving as APHA's elected president in 2001 and 2002. I also started a few paths as an entrepreneur to launch new technologies that position pharmacists in new ways. Today, after a life of volunteerism and ventures, I'm investing the rest of my career to advance patient care and to seek your essential place on the healthcare team as recognized providers. So from my experience, whatever you invest in time, talent, or treasure in our profession will pay off. Show up, stay engaged, serve. Connect with practitioners and give back through mentoring others. Showing up also means staying informed about your profession, and that means maintaining your memberships and reading professional journals, and being ready to make a pitch for your profession. So here's my pitch for APHA. We promote consumer access and coverage to pharmacists' quality patient care services. But for them to gain that access, we need your help. You've got to show up. Take the time to develop a powerful anecdote of how you helped a patient. Make it clear and concise as my elevator pitch that, by the way, took 5 years to perfect. Then be prepared to share your story when the moments present themselves to advocate for patient access to your services. Many years ago, I was impressed by a challenge from my first dean in pharmacy school when he said, "You're now entering a profession where you'll never have to worry about making a living. So worry about making a difference." Our profession's star is definitely rising, yet if we fail to make a difference, we won't make a living for very long. So how do we make a difference? I submit that it's at least in the area of chronic disease management. We have a medication use crisis in this country, and pharmacists providing care is a major part of the solution. But patients need access to and coverage for our care. If we want to be taken seriously as providers, then the word quality takes on special meaning. If you've followed healthcare reforms, you know that we're moving toward a system that rewards excellence rather than exercise. Excellence in patient outcomes and excellence in patient satisfaction. For pharmacists to be part of that equation, we must be accountable for our outcomes. Accountability for quality care means ascribing to standards, so we've got initiatives underway to make that happen. And I can fairly say we've got the momentum. MTM, medication therapy management, is growing as a benefit. Evidence is mounting for the value of your care. Capacity is expanding in our workforce. We've gained increased media attention. The Affordable Care Act opens doors. Systems today are challenged to manage costs and outcomes, and that's where you come in. New service opportunities are developing, and interprofessional care is evolving rapidly. These opportunities are team-based, as more physicians, nurses, dentists, and pharmacists are being trained interprofessionally. Like our own, their educational standards require it. It's a compelling argument for pharmacist provider status that we're trained together as student professionals, so we need to be empowered to practice that way upon graduation. As more pharmacists develop collaborative practice agreements with other providers and ACOs establish incentives for outcomes of quality medication use, we'll need to be on the team. When we're on the team, we can make a difference. When the system recognizes that we're capable providers in an incapable system and that we have the medication expertise needed to help solve this medication use crisis and the personal relationships with patients necessary to really connect for lasting change, then opportunities and incentives should follow. And that is what we're seeing, albeit slower than we'd like. As I mentioned earlier, APHA is one of the leaders of a large coalition. We've introduced a bill in Congress, H.R. 4190, to secure provider status for pharmacists in the Social Security Act. You can read about it on Pharmacists.com. Our own initiatives to support the coalition and H.R. 4190 include our Pharmacists Provide Care campaign. We've conducted extensive research on pharmacist value, published this week, and consumer research as well. Simply, pharmacists' impact on clinical and economic outcomes is positive and growing. And the public is ready to support us. They think of us as healthcare providers now. And most are surprised to learn that we aren't already covered as providers. The status we seek in H.R. 4190 is a link between the care pharmacists already provide and the care we could provide if we were properly recognized. Remember when I encouraged you to make your story and to make it concise? That's because our congressmen and senators need to hear directly from you, and you need to be persuasive. We know that people are more open to change when they understand why. Our dream of enhancing access to pharmacist services will only be realized if we're passionate about the why, that we are improving the health of our patients. When pharmacists across the profession and country unite with a unified message, the results are powerful. So you have a choice right now, today. You can approach the rest of your career as a job, or you can be a professional. That means more than acquiring the body of knowledge and skills you have as a Samford grad. It means sharing commitment, being willing to self-regulate, and living a code of ethics, as Susan Alverson just shared. As professionals, we have rights, but we also have a contract with society based on trust and a willingness to put patients first in our quest for healing. This will require each of you to commit some of your time, talent, and treasure to your pharmacy family, and I encourage you to do so. My hope is that some of you will take this wonderful education you've received, thanks to this university, mentors, your families, and your own hard work, and make a difference in patient lives every day. I learned many years ago that we seldom remember the words we hear in a speech, but we always remember how we felt when we heard it. I hope you're feeling ready to help. You will create many stories along this wonderful new path you're starting today, the stories that help paint the picture for our case. Stand up and share those stories. Help us make a difference. Today, I'm proud to call you fellow pharmacists. Congratulations to your family and friends for their achievements in supporting you and for your own accomplishments. Thank you in advance for what you will contribute to our profession and to patient care. Good luck. God bless each of you.
And now for the moment for which you've been waiting. I'd like to ask the candidates for the degrees to please rise. The faculty of a university are the stewards of academic quality, and our faculty have specified the qualifications for each of the degrees being awarded here today. Mr. President, it is my honor, based upon the recommendations of the faculty, to present these students who have completed the requirements for the degrees listed in the program.
Thank you, Dr. Creed. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, in harmony with the recommendations of the faculty, in accordance with the laws of the state of Alabama, I hereby confer upon you the degree that you have so dearly earned, together with our prayers that you will use what you gained here in the service of God and of humankind wherever you may go in this needy world. Congratulations.
Now, as the first few rows of graduates are making their way to the stage and the other graduates are seated, I would like to solicit your cooperation in making this a meaningful and memorable day for those who are receiving their degrees. This is a once-in-a-lifetime honor for them and their families who are joining them in support by their attendance here today. So I'd respectfully ask that you hold your applause. That includes hoots, hollers, whistles, cat calls, and other annoying noises. Please hold those until all the graduates have received their diplomas, and then we will celebrate uproariously together. I hope you will understand this request. If there's a high and holy moment in academia, it's the graduation ceremony. So dignity, decorum, and respect are the most honorable expressions recognizing the achievements of our students. If one student is recognized with fanfare by their family, it might prevent another family from hearing the announcement of the name of their graduate. So to show support for your graduate, I suggest that maybe when his or her name is called, you stand to show your honor, your appreciation, and your gratitude. We thank you for being here today, for your presence in making this a very meaningful and memorable occasion, and we're grateful for this day as we know that you are. Thank you for being here.
Heather Brooke Abel. Stephanie Lynn Adams, with honors. Elena Monique Alexander. Michael David Austin, with honors. Sarah Elizabeth Baggett. Aaron Todd Ballou. Courtney Shea Berg. Sabrina Shea Bowden, with honors. Kayla Elizabeth Bratcher, with honors. Stephen Andrew Brown. Abby Rich Bryant, with honors. Alyssa Devon Bryant. Alyssa Ann Budisilich. Lucas Allen Burke with honors. Richard Adam Burnett with honors. Jordan Ray Burt with honors. Bradley Ryan Cagle. William Robert Brett Cagle III. Rebecca K. Campbell with honors. Kelly Michelle Carpenter with honors. Megan Nicole Champion with honors. Jordan Ray Cochran. Ashton Renee Coffey. Jennifer Catherine Cook with honors. Stephen Corey Culpepper. Melissa Jane Daly. Jordan Race Dale with honors. Nicholas Scott Daniel. Megan Ladner Delgado with honors. Ashton Brooke DeVore with honors. Rachel Lauren DeWeese. Hannah Lee Dickinson. Christina Lauren Dixon with honors. Adam Gregory Dodson with honors. Holly Michelle Dunn. Jessica Sue Eberhard with honors. Beth Lauren Irwin with honors. Jansen Michael Firth with honors. Wesley Eugene Freidendahl. Ronisha LaKayla Garner with honors. Aaron Jolly Grant, with honors. Megan Elizabeth Greenwell, with honors. Melissa Megan Hale, with honors. Mary Kyle Hall, with honors. Candace Morgan Harwood. Latasha Renee Haywood. Brittany Megan Henderson, with honors. Tanner Elizabeth Henley, with honors. John Willis Hensley. Elizabeth Louise Davis Hicks, with honors. Lainey Beth Higginbotham. Jeremy Keith Hill, with honors. Ann Nicholson Hoffman. Abby Margaret Jeske, with honors. Marie Therese Youngbang Jones. Nathan Gregory Kloskowski. Ashley Bertkey Nepper. Courtney Stevens Lane. Robert Blake Leach. Samantha Christine Lundergan, with honors. Kristen Catherine McDaniel, with honors. Sarah Leanne McDonald, with honors. Emily Brooke McGowan. Melissa Jane Meinberg, with honors. Hannah Ruth Monroe. Jordan Bradley Monroe. Joni Hill Morgan, with honors. Roberta Lynn Morrison, with honors. Wesley Allen Mosley. Christina Michelle Mullins, with honors. Jeremy Michael Nolan. Michelle Mahan Otwell, with honors. Hazley Camille Owens. Kayla Beth Palmore, with honors. Nitya Pandi Pant. Brianne Nicole Parker. Jacob Stephen Parker. Ashley Nicole Pate. Chandani Patel. Janae Adams Perry. Jessica Leanne Ramsey, with honors. Anna Esther Reed. Trenton Dwayne Reynolds, with honors. Trevor Levon Reynolds, with honors. Sarah Seabrook Riley. Diana Jacob Robertson, with honors. Meredith Elizabeth Schaefer, with honors. Christina Helena Schatz, with honors. Michelle Leanne Simmons, with honors. Derek Oliver Smith. Hannah Lauren Smith, with honors. Jessica Lynn Smith. Samuel Frederick Solano, with honors. David Allen South, with honors. Simone Angeline Spellin. Carlette Monique Stewart, with honors. Mary Rachel Stutz. Niels Christian Strum. Julie Snyder Stike, with honors. Logan Tyler Stike, with honors. Brooke Michelle Hopkins Sumner. Tiffany Rochelle Suttles, with honors. Chun A. Thigpen, with honors. Heather Travis Thomas, with honors. Jordan Michael Thomas. Leah Wallace Trammell, with honors. Kristen Lindsay Tribbiano, with honors. Michael Davis Turner, with honors. Bethany K. Raspberry Twilley, with honors. Michael James Twilley, Jr. Kimberly Cato Terrell. Anna Louise Underwood, with honors. Corey Elizabeth Urban, with honors. John Joseph Wanchek IV. Joshua Mark Whitley. Emily Ruth Wilhite. Georgia Kelly Wright. Anna Lisa L. Zeller, with honors.
This is ridiculous. This is crazy, y'all. We did it. We made it. You know, I've won awards, I've won championships growing up, graduated from undergrad. The feeling I had this morning just waking up, knowing today was the day, it was so surreal. It was like, I've had this feeling one other time, and it was on my wedding day. And this is crazy. So they said to be short and sweet since we're graduating now. So maybe 30, 45 minutes, and I'll let y'all out of here. In these speeches, this is the part probably where I say good morning. You say it back, a few of you. And then I say it again. And then everybody's with me because I know you're all paying attention then, right? So I'll just get to the business, cut the formalities, and get to my written speech. So, good morning. Aha. In all seriousness, we've made it today, and I know that everybody knows the term self-made, whether that's you hear it in self-made millionaire, or self-made man, or self-made woman. Nobody here is self-made. Nobody. This would be an empty room if it was. It would just be us sitting in black in our hoods by ourselves. And we would also have an empty heart because first and foremost, besides our family, of course, we have to thank God for getting us here. No doubt. And if you really feeling it today, you know that's how you got here, right? And then secondly, of course, we got to thank, just thank Him for blessing us with this opportunity, this privilege, and thank our family, our friends, everybody that supported us through this time, I mean, look at the room. Look at the room. Take a look. If you're not graduating today, if you haven't graduated, please stand up. If you haven't graduated, please stand up today if you're not graduating. I don't know if you see what I see. Please stand up. So this today might be about us and graduating today, and everything's good and gravy and everybody's told everybody my son or daughter or husband or wife or friend is graduating today. So what I want you all to do for yourselves right now, I don't know if you've ever had a standing ovation for yourselves, but just please give each other a round of applause and look around and take it in. It's amazing. Thank y'all so much. Please be seated. So I had this speech kind of planned out for 4 years, and I had told a few friends about it. Had it perfected to the T. That's what I was going to say. And about 2 weeks ago, I scratched it, threw it out. Because I went home, and I got to see my family who helped to get me here, and I don't know if y'all have ever had this feeling, but when you have a little kid run up to you and just land into you, boom, and hug you. There's not many feelings like that, And I got that feeling. My niece came up to me and she gave me a hug and said, "Hey, Uncle Jordan." And I said, "Hey, Jamie." I said, "What'd you do today?" And she said, "I went to school." And I said, what did you do today at school?" "I don't know, just school." That's not good enough for me. I want to know what you learned at school today. Let me go get my backpack. So she went and grabs her backpack, and she pulls out this piece of paper, and she's really proud about it. I started writing my autobiography. Whoa. That's kind of cool. She's 10 years old, and the class had to write their autobiography, and read it to me. And of course, I know most of the stuff that she's telling me: when I was born, how much I weighed, I love Luke Bryan, all this stuff. And so it got me to thinking, what was a major point in my life where I had an autobiography moment that I would write down? And it took me back to a really important day in my life, and I'm going to try to keep it together for this, so bear with me. I know that, oh man. Whew. I know the exact day. It was July 5th, 1999. It was my sister's 16th birthday. And big day. We celebrate our 16th birthdays pretty big in our family. And she was going on her first date. And so that was the very first date that she was ever allowed to go on. This is a side note. They've made rules to that update for all the little girls out there. You can't go on your first date until you're married. Not my rule, just your rule. But all the family was over. We were cooking, grilling, having a good time. She was getting all dolled up, to go on this first date. All the kids were in the yard, playing football, doing the family food, fun, the whole 9 yards. And me and my cousin wanted to go out on a ride. We lived out in the country in Mississippi, had a bunch of acres, and it was a few houses and a big neighborhood as far as the size, not so many houses, but you could clearly see everything in all directions. And we were going out on a ride, and so I had a big red Honda three-wheeler. And I know some of you have heard this story, maybe not so much in the details, but have heard the occurrence of it. And my sister had this hideous moped. It was ugly. And so I was going to ride the three-wheeler, and my cousin Keith was going to ride the moped. We were just going to go take a few laps kind of thing around. And so I'm out the door, of course, Mississippi. I'm not wearing shoes. I'm about to go hop on my three-wheeler and just take a quick ride. And in all the chaos that was going on, all the fun time, my mom has that, that sixth sense kind of motherly instinct. And it's going off. Hey, son. I'm almost out the door. I'm ready to get on it. Where are you going? Riding? Not like that, you're not. She goes, you need a helmet and you need your shoes. Come on. And so I did put on my helmet. It was an awesome helmet. It had flames down the side and everything. And I decided to put on my shoes. Mom's rules. So we get going, and coming around the bend, and as a kid, you're just invincible, right? You don't think you can get hurt, and I gun it. I'm on top of it, and I don't know if you've ever ridden a four-wheeler or three-wheeler when the wind's just hitting you. We were probably going about 45, 50 miles an hour, and I'm on top of it, and there's this gully or valley, and so I'm coming down this side, and my cousin's behind me, and there's this black Suburban. Coming down this side. And so the car's coming pretty fast, and I'm coming pretty fast, and it's a Mississippi road, so it's not well paved. There's a neighbor's driveway that I'm coming up on, and it's rocks, all rocks. And the rocks actually came out onto the road. And so I'm getting in my side of the lane. The Suburban is doing the same. And my back right tire hits that gravel. And I was slowing down, but it's probably still going 40. And I get loose. Right? And it starts rocking me. And I don't know if you believe this, but time slows down. They say it doesn't, but it does. And so it seemed like it was an eternity And all I could hear was, it was screeching, the brakes of this lady. It was her car, her truck, Suburban, just laid on it. And it sounded like a train in my ear, And so I had a decision: either I take on this Suburban head on, and I weighed about $105 at 12 years old, probably would do more damage to me, or jump off. And so it throws me off, and I'm in the air, and all these thoughts are going through my head. It's my sister's birthday. Who am I going to miss? What's going on? And I can smell the brakes. The rubber's just burning. I can smell the gasoline from my three-wheeler. And that calm before the storm, you know it, before a tornado, before a hurricane, it gets so quiet. There's not a sound. And that happened right then, and it was almost like God was coming to me, and he was saying, "Hey, buddy, got something to say to me. Let's say it now, And so all I could say at that point was, God help me. And so it was like that, lights out. And I remember waking up, and I'm looking at the front bumper of this Suburban. And I start to walk home, and the lady's getting out of her truck. She's frantic. She thought she hit me. "You need to sit down. You need to sit down." And I said, "I need to go home. I just need to go home." And she sat me down, and my cousin, who was on the moped behind me, drove across the field. And you could see it in the distance, about 200 yards. And you could see what had happened. And so my cousin goes and tells everybody what happened, and you could see this flash. And I promise you, if the Olympics would have been held that day, my mother would have won. And so my mom took 5 seconds out of her busy day, the hectic day, to say a few words to make sure that I was protected. My helmet was cracked. I had to get multiple wounds stitched up. Went to the hospital, and the physician said, "I'm lucky to be talking to you today." And so we have an opportunity like that every day. We get that platform. That's what we signed up to do. It's our job. It's our duty, our responsibility, our privilege to protect our family. Because whether you think about it or not, everybody in here, everybody out there in the community is your family in one way or another. We got a big family right here, yeah? And so I expect out of myself, I expect out of you, and each other should expect this from one another, is to 5 seconds is to do that duty and protect. That's simple. We got a lot of knowledge in our head. You protect those around you. That's simple. That's easy enough. My life was spared in 5 seconds. And so we're at that pivotal point today, like Dr. Albertson said, we've came to the end of that race. And so if you've ever ran a mile or ever went on the treadmill and started sprinting kind of thing, and you kind of get to that end, and you see it, or it's counting down the time on the treadmill, or you see that finish line kind of thing, and you're just coming around the corner and you're getting it, and you start to slow down, jog it out. Oh, I'm done. It's over. You're giving up, right? That's just the warm-ups. This was just the warm-ups. And we did great at the warm-ups. It's something to celebrate. It's amazing that we've gotten here. They said it would go by fast. The last 2 days have been a blur for me. So just one last thing. to leave you with kind of thing. We are one class, one family. But I really want you to think about, of course, the way that you feel right now, as was said earlier. But you're going to come into a lot of people's lives, no matter the setting that you're at. And so there's that ripple effect that you're going to have on people. 5 seconds or 5 minutes or an hour that you're going to find the time to affect those people. And I really want you to think about the one thing, like I was saying at the beginning, how you're going to make a mark on someone else's autobiography. Because you never know what 5 seconds can do. And so I hope and pray, and I know that we'll make every second count. This is the farewell, so I know I won't see many of you for a long, long time. So it's been a fun ride, a long ride. And I would do it with each and one of you, again, right beside you. I'm going to miss you guys very much. And I'm proud of y'all very much. So thank you all. Thank you, family, for giving up the time for your student, for the students here, your family. As was said yesterday at the award show, I know that's sometimes hard to give those people up, even in your own family. Sometimes we were studying in the dining room table. So thank you all. Thank you all. And I'll miss you guys. Thank you very much.
One of the most significant acts a pharmacist takes at the beginning of his or her career is to recite and take the oath of a pharmacist. The oath of the pharmacist gives a commitment to the public that we will serve for the next 40 or 50 years in a career, and it makes a commitment to excellence in our profession. Graduates, I encourage you to mark your calendar on this day every year and review the oath of a pharmacist and recommit yourself to the principles that are contained herein. Graduates, would you please stand with your program, turn to page 17, and I would like to invite all pharmacists who are with us in the audience today and in the faculty to please stand and recite with me the oath of a pharmacist once again. Again, it's on page 17 of your program, and we'll recite it in unison. I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. In fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for my patients. I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the lifelong obligation to improve my professional knowledge and competence. I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. Thank you.
I will ask the rest of you to please stand. Let us pray. O God, creator and sustainer, we thank you for the gifts of these graduates for their accomplishment, their perseverance, their love for each other, and their desire to help patients in need. Please guide and direct them in their days ahead. We thank you for the gift of their families and friends who gave so much to make this day possible, for their encouragement, sacrifice, and understanding. We thank you for the gift of Samford University, the McWhorter School of Pharmacy, the faculty, staff, preceptors, and alumni who have given of themselves, tried their best, and sought to make a difference. And we thank you for the gift of relationships, of sharing these years together at this place and this time, of your promise to always be with us, and of this once-in-a-lifetime defining moment. And now to you, O God, you who are able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to your power that is at work within us. To you be all glory and honor forever and ever. Amen.